Welcome. Today we are breaking down one of the most sophisticated forms of financial crime, trade-based money laundering, or TBML. Did you know criminals move millions across borders, not by hiding cash, but by trading everyday items like electronics or scrap metal? TBML is how illicit actors disguise their crime proceeds through the global trade system. Trade-based money laundering allows criminals to move value and legitimize funds by exploiting the massive volume of global trade. The sheer volume and complexity of international trade obscures individual fraudulent transactions. Customs agencies inspect less than 5% of cargo, creating major vulnerabilities that criminal organizations exploit. To understand TBML, we'll cover 5 core techniques that transform illicit funds into seemingly legitimate trade settlements. First, pricing manipulation. Second, quantity deception. Third, the quality switch. Fourth, the paper trail trick. And, finally, complex networks. The most common and basic technique is pricing manipulation, which involves misrepresenting the price of goods on an invoice. Over-invoicing is used when the exporter wants to receive value. They invoice the goods at a price significantly above the fair market value, and the importer pays the inflated cost, effectively sending extra illicit funds to the exporter. Under-invoicing is used when the exporter wants to transfer value to the importer. The exporter invoices the goods below market value. The importer pays the lower price, sells the goods at the true market price, and pockets the difference. For example, Company A ships 1 million widgets worth $2 million, but invoices Company B for only $1 million. Company B sells the widgets for $2 million and keeps the $1 million transferred from Company A disguised as legitimate trade profit. Next, criminals can move value by manipulating the quantity of goods shipped compared to what is listed on the shipping documents. In undershipment, the importer pays the full price for, say, 1 million units, but the exporter only ships half that amount. The value of the missing goods is effectively transferred to the exporter. Conversely, overshipment involves the supplier delivering a quantity greater than what was ordered, often transferring extra value to the importer through unbilled merchandise. An extreme version is the phantom shipment, where no goods are shipped at all, but the exporter and importer collude to process all necessary documents. This can be used to acquire financing for non-existent goods. The quality switch involves using deception about the nature of the product to justify a payment that doesn't match the true value of the goods. This technique misrepresents the quality or type of goods being traded, creating a discrepancy between the value listed on the paperwork and the actual value of the items in the container. An exporter ships cheap goods but describes them as luxury items on the invoice. This justifies a large payment from the importer, laundering illicit funds as payment for expensive merchandise. In a sophisticated example, a cartel shipped lead bars but invoiced them as gold bars. Once they arrived, they replaced the lead with real gold bought using drug money, successfully laundering their profits. The paper trail trick is all about documentation fraud, specifically issuing multiple invoices for the same shipment. Multiple invoicing is when criminals issue more than one invoice for the same shipment of goods, justifying multiple payments to move illicit funds across borders. The seller invoices the buyer multiple times for the same goods. The buyer pays all invoices, with the first covering the legitimate cost, and subsequent payments acting as illicit fund transfers disguised as trade settlements. Criminals often use different financial institutions to process these multiple payments, which further complicates the money trail and makes detection significantly harder. The final major technique involves complex network structures, primarily the Black Market Peso Exchange. The Black Market Peso Exchange, or BMPE, is one of the most complex TBML schemes, originally driven by currency restrictions and now primarily used by cartels to repatriate drug dollars. The BMPE relies on a peso broker who acts as an intermediary connecting drug traffickers who need to exchange dollars for local currency, with legitimate importers who need dollars to purchase foreign goods. This system allows traffickers to convert their U.S. profits into local currency without ever involving the international banking system, giving them, quote, clean money that is justified by trade. The broker uses the drug dollars to pay U.S. exporters on behalf of a Colombian importer. The goods are then shipped to Colombia, sold for pesos, and the broker is repaid, completing the loop. Trade-based money laundering turns the global supply chain into a massive vehicle for financial crime, exploiting volume and complexity for billions in illicit funds. Remember the key TBML techniques: pricing and quantity fraud, documentation tricks like multiple invoicing, and complex networks like the Black Market Peso Exchange. As trade finance becomes more digitized, the future of detection may rely on AI and data analytics to spot these discrepancies. But criminals will undoubtedly evolve new digital methods of deception. Thank you for watching this deep dive into trade-based money laundering. If you found this information valuable, please like this video and subscribe for more content on trade finance and financial crime.
Stay ahead in the world of global commerce. Subscribe to Vanijja for expert analysis. And don't forget to like this video.